Hello my friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Ian with Out of This World Reader, and today's video is going to be a pretty big book haul. This is going to be just a collection of books that I got for my birthday, for the holidays, and then some that I bought a little bit after that I received in book boxes and stuff like that. It has been about time to do a big book haul, and I still couldn't even include all of the books that I've collected. I'm still trying to get a good tracking system going. So I have a ton here, all scattered apart me, because I tried doing like one of those cool thumbnail pictures, you know, where they all hold all the books. And they scattered everywhere. So they are just everywhere, all over the floor. What I'm gonna do is just select one of these random books, and give you what I know about them, or if I've heard any great things about them, or if I've read them, and just my quick thoughts on that, because we got a lot to go over here. There's a ton of books here. And then in the future, I think I might do like a monthly book haul, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to lower down the amount of books I'm buying, but somehow they keep arriving at my door. So I think without further ado, let's hop in with these tons of books. So first up, I got the first 3 books in the Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb, which is the Farseer Trilogy. So I've got Assassin's Apprentice, Assassin's Quest, and Royal Assassin, and I've heard that this is kind of like the great entryway into the Realm of the Elderlings and where to start. And Robin Hobb has been an author that I've always wanted to kind of dive into more. I've just heard that you really connect with her characters and she really breaks your heart. And there's a ton of books in there, just kind of like rivaling the Cosmere. And I've heard that the magic in here as well, and I believe they're pretty character driven, but there's something else going on that I'm really intrigued by. But I received these for Christmas, and I am hoping to dive into just these and just the Realm of the Elderlings this year. And then we have the Year of the Reaper, which I'm not sure much about. I haven't heard anything about this. I think I got this in a book box. I can't remember which one, but I believe like the main character in here kind of disappeared. They went away for like a mission or something like that, and then they just completely disappeared. And now they're returning back after like a couple years, and they're just... everything that they once knew and everything was kind of ruined, and now they're having to kind of try and get revenge, I believe. But that's all about I know. But this cover, I've seen the other one, and the other one as well. I think I'll put a picture right there. But this one is outstanding, but the original was outstanding as well. So I really want to get into this soon. And then I think in the same book box, I got The Coldest Touch, which is kind of like a vampire romance, I believe, like a fantasy romance. And that's all I know about it, fantasy romance. I've been reading more fantasy romance, but this is definitely like a genre that I really want to get into more. And I do like vampires, and I'm debating whether to pick up Twilight or not, because that's one that everyone kind of talks about with fantasy romance and just vampires in general. So I don't know, maybe this will kind of intrigue me to pick up those. If you've read Twilight and you think they're just an absolute must to read, please let me know. This next one is actually the book club pick for the Biblionauts next month in February, so coming up pretty soon. And that is All of Us Villains. And this one, from the beginning, when I first saw the premise, I was like, this is a must read. Like, I need to pick this up, because I did enjoy the Hunger Games. And this is said to be kind of like a grim dark kind of Hunger Games setup, to where kind of like in the Hunger Games, you know how they all kill each other, but this one kind of involves magic and some kind of villainous characters. So from there, I was like, yes, please, I need to get that and read it as soon as I get it. But I had to wait. I'm doing it for the book club because I think this will just be a great discussion. But definitely, if you want to kind of join in, it is for February. I think this next big old pile is a bunch of adult fantasy, which is the genre that I'm really trying to get into more this year. I'm kind of trying to venture out from kind of YA and kind of be picky about what I pick up in that genre. And this first one is going to be the Boneshard Daughter. And this one I've heard great things about as well. But this one is kind of like a new series of Drowning Empires that I've been hearing quite a bit. Like, a lot of people loved this book and the second book. And I've been kind of dying to get into and see whether I like it. I've heard that the magic in here is pretty interesting. There's also the elements of a companion that's kind of like wholesome, and just like the characters in here as well. Like, you really connect with one of them, I believe. I can't remember what his name was, but he's kind of like thrown into the hero position, and I'm really interested to see how that will kind of play out in this series. But I'm hoping that I do enjoy this. And then, like, I'm not sure when the third book is, and that's what I hate about kind of picking up a new series or an uncompleted series, because I don't want to wait very long if I do enjoy it. But this one I will hopefully be kind of picking up very soon. One thing that I do kind of like in just a fantasy in general is just I'm like really interesting kind of magic systems, and just like magic systems that kind of like make your mind think. And this one is one that I've heard that is very kind of intriguing and interesting, and that is the Lightbringer series. And this is the first one, the Black Prism by Brent Weeks. And this is one that I've heard it's just a great kind of adult fantasy to pick up in a series that is now finished, I believe. I think the fourth book just came out, and just the magic in here is so like interesting. It kind of revolves around like color and the prism, but like the amount of magic they use kind of like kill you and stuff like that. So I think that's so interesting, and that's kind of like what I have similar to kind of my novel with my magic system. So I'm hoping that once I kind of read this, it'll kind of help me kind of flesh out my magic system and kind of make it more kind of solid and concrete. That way there's no kind of like little holes that can be picked at. So, but this one, once I finish up some other series, this will be the next on the list. Then we have one that I haven't heard much about, but it's got blurbs by Brandon Sanderson. And that's all I need to know, because he is becoming one of my favorite authors, and that is the Powder Mage Trilogy, and this is the first one, Promise of Blood. I actually picked this up, and the Lightbringer, and a couple of these others in kind of like a come booking shopping with me for my birthday and kind of finishing the semester. And this one really intrigued me because it almost sounded like a mix of the French Revolution and just muskets and magic. But I've heard that this is also very kind of grimdark, and that is kind of like a genre in fantasy, or kind of like a sub-genre that I really want to get into. And I've heard that Joe Abercrombie is really perfect for that. But I think if I do, like, because I'm on the fence with the genre, like I don't know if I will enjoy it. Like the ones that I do pick up, I have enjoyed, but I'm not sure if they're exactly grimdark. I think like the Poppy War can be considered grimdark, and that is one that I did enjoy. But I'm hoping that that will kind of intrigue me more into that subgenre. There's a lot of these books are actually some pretty thick books. So thick adult fantasy. And this next one is Jade City by Fonda Lee. This one has been talked about a ton, and I had to jump on kind of like the bandwagon and kind of pick up this series. I'm actually reading this along with kind of Mel Ricci doing like a channel kind of read along for the series. And the next one is actually Jade War, and that's in February, but this one's for January. So if you do want to join in, you can definitely still do that. But this is like The Godfather with some magic, and I do like the kind of the way that Jade kind of plays a role in K-Con, and just how it's kind of impacted these two clans and just like the rivalry between each other, and then the politics in here as well. Like I feel like this one kind of touched a lot on the politics and just everything kind of building up. And then there was just one point in here where it was just like like everything just unfolded, like it had all kind of been building up, and I was kind of worried it like when it was actually going to kick off. And then like I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this. And then this one part in this book just set it off, and I was like, this is going to be an all-time favorite series. So I'm very eager to pick up Jade War when it arrives here and in February. And then speaking of the Poppy War, I actually picked up the whole series. This is the series read along for the Biblionauts, and if you do want to join in, you can definitely still join in. But this one, this one was really good. Like, but this definitely touches on just like the horrors of war and just everything that goes on. And it really, like, it hurt me to read some of the parts and to know that this was actually inspired by events that actually happened. But I thought that the magic and the shamanism and just Rin as a character, like just seeing her growth, like you definitely see like several years in this first book as she kind of has to train and kind of earn her spot, and then definitely just changing her kind of ways to like as the approaching war happens and just everything that's unfolding and she has to see. Like I just loved how like it was portrayed, and like seeing her kind of like hurts. Like you never see that in a lot of books, I feel like, or the ones I've read, that you always see like the good and the happy, but there's definitely like a lot of just sad things that occur in this book, that both Rin and just their nation, their empire, and seeing the decisions that she has to make was just heartbreaking. And the way that the first one ended was definitely like pretty big. But speaking of that, I'm very eager to see where it goes in the Dragon Republic in February. I believe this is the last adult fantasy, and this is one that I've been really dying to get into because I've heard great things about it. A lot of these I've heard great things about, but this one I think I've heard the most, and it is very, very loved by many, and that is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. You know me, and I love kind of folktale elements, and I love the desert setting. I love the desert setting and the ocean setting. Two polar opposites, but I just love that, and I believe this one has kind of got like a djinn element and kind of the world of the djinn, and this one kind of like con artist is basically thrown into their world, and now she has to kind of like help solve a problem there, or else everything's just gonna explode and everyone's just gonna be not doing so well. But this is another one, I think once I finish up another couple series that I will be diving into very soon. And then sadly I only have like one sci-fi book I believe on here. Like, that is like a genre that I really enjoy, but I feel like I haven't picked up much. So if you have any great recommendations, please let me know. But this one is another one that I really want to start very soon, and it's a very expansive series, and that is Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. But this one just finished this year, I believe, as well, and there's like 8 books. But this is one that I really wanted to check out and kind of be an entryway into kind of adult sci-fi. Like, I've read a couple YA sci-fi, but I feel like I'm gonna jump into the deep end with this one. But this is one that I've heard great things about, like just the whole series in general. Like 8 books, that's a lot, and to have every book like have positive reviews, I think that's a good thing, and I'm very eager to get into it. We're getting towards the end. I think we got like maybe 10 more books. There's been a lot. But this was the last book I think I got on that Come Book Shopping With Me, and this Dark Rise. I haven't heard anything about this. I think this is a new release. But when I read it, it kind of had these elements of just like this dock worker, this dock boy who has been kind of hunted down, and now he's having to kind of deal with everyone kind of hunting him down and then kind of coming to power, I believe. But that's all I kind of knew about it, and I've been really eager to get into it since I picked it up. Okay, I lied. There was one more adult fantasy, and that is The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. This is the second book in the Baron Nightingale trilogy. And the first one I did enjoy. Like, I liked the atmosphere and everything about it, just like the folktale elements that was kind of included, as well as kind of like a little Russian history involved. But just seeing the growth of Esila through the first book, as you just kind of see her as a young girl and then kind of develop into just like a young woman, just how her connections with the kind of the folktale elements and kind of everything going on around here in this kind of like secluded middle of nowhere kind of little village. But the first one, I don't like, it almost felt like it could have been like a standalone. I felt like, so like I don't know where it's gonna go in this one. Like, it kind of hinted at where it would go, but from there, like, I have no idea. I'm very interested to see kind of where it will continue on with the series, but this one I'm actually going to be picking up here pretty soon. I think it's actually going to be my next read. And then we have just a couple more YA fantasy, and this next one I actually got, and I think it was like a Lumicrate box. And that is Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. I read Margaret Owen's, I can't remember what this duology was called, but I think the first one is called like The Merciful Crows, and I really just enjoyed that kind of little duology and just like the magic in there. This one is a Goose Girl retelling, and I just love retellings in general. But other than that, like, I've heard great things about this, and sadly I haven't picked this up yet. I don't know why, but this cover is outstanding. I think this was like the original cover, but just like the stenciled edging and everything and the color on the pages, outstanding. But this is a read that I really hope to pick up soon because I do enjoy retellings. And then just like a couple Harry Potter books that I picked up because I love that series so much that I had to continue on with it. So I actually got the play scripts of just The Cursed Child, which is after the events of Harry Potter, and I think I have not heard great things about this one at all. Like, everyone that I've heard that's read it didn't like it and has told me to not pick it up, but I'm stubborn and I really want to just continue on with it. And then I both got The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and then The Crimes of Grindelwald, which I have the movies for, but I feel like I need to read the play scripts first. But I'm not sure if there's actually a play script for the new, I think it's like The Crime or the Secrets of Dumbledore that's coming out here pretty soon. I don't know if there's a play script for that, but Maybe it's all concluded in the Crimes of Grimberwald, so if you do know, please let me know, but I need to pick these up very soon. And the last little fantasy book on here is another one that I got in a book box. Can't remember which one it is. This is why I need to do monthly book hauls, because I just forget a lot of things and they just pile up. But this one is Dreams Lie Beneath, and this one kind of plays with the magic of like understanding nightmares, I believe, and kind of like just like these two people are being able to kind of like harness them or kind of change them, and they're rivals. And it almost sounded like the Night Circus when I first read it, like the premise. I did love the Night Circus, so I'm maybe hoping that this one is just kind of like a younger version of the Night Circus. And then we only have like one horror book, and this was actually a middle grade because that's like I'm a scaredy cat, so like I feel like this was a great entryway into horror. There was definitely a couple little spooky parts spread throughout it. And that was White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson, and this one was, I loved it. The only thing I didn't like was kind of the ending. It goes like an open ending and left up for interpretation. I really wish, it almost felt like rushed. And I really wished it would kind of like slow down and kind of just finished it off. But other than that, like everything else in here was great. The commentary and just like little spooky elements. There's also parts of like bed bugs. And while reading this, I was definitely like scratching myself and checking my body all over for little bite marks. So anytime like a book can make me feel kind of like spooked out and kind of creeped, like it deserves some great stars. But this one was a great read, and I definitely recommend it. Then we have just a couple book of the month picks that I've had over the couple months. But the first one is The Push by Ashley Audrain. I read this, I think, last month. And I just really enjoyed kind of like this, not being able to trust like the narrator, but whether they were actually kind of going crazy or whether their daughter was actually like a demon or like a killer. So I just really enjoyed kind of like that. And the only thing I didn't like though was kind of the ending. It was like another open ending, I guess. Like I wanted the like Blythe to be there when the thing happened at the end, instead of kind of like the way it played out. If you've read it, you might know what I'm talking about, but this one's really good and I definitely recommend it. And the last book on this very giant book haul is one that I haven't read yet. It's another book of the month pick, but I've been hearing great things about it and I really want to pick it up soon. I think I might do like a kind of like a reading vlog where I pick up a couple different book of the month picks and kind of like read each of them and kind of tell you whether they're actually worth it or not, or whether kind of book of the month is worth it or not. But that is A History of the Wild Places, and this one is one of the ones I was considering for that vlog. This one kind of is an author kind of like disappears, and then a detective that can kind of see things that nobody else can see kind of goes and looks for him, but they disappear as well. So I think this is like a magical realism, and there's a genre that I really want to kind of explore more, and this is the first one. But this might be a great entryway. If you know any other great magical realism books, please let me know. And also, if you do want to see that vlog, please leave the comments down below. But that's going to be all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this very large book haul. I think I'm going to start doing like just like a monthly or bi-monthly, because it's getting out of hand. Like I've been trying to kind of control myself with buying books, but you know, I just can't keep filling up my bookshelves. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing so you never miss out on another adventure. But it is time for Ellie to come on here and just wish you all to have a splendid day. But she also says that adventure is out there. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.